Good morning, this is Sally again. I'm going to do another value study demonstration, but this time I've gone ahead and I have drawn my images on my sketch pad. I'm doing these value studies larger than normal. You would normally do them about 2 by 3 inches, something like that, small, but I'm doing it big enough so that you can see. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to get started now. You can see my screen good. Once again, we're going to be working with black and a mid-tone and white. And the first thing you do is you cover your paper and leave the whites. And if necessary, you can go along with a pencil and you can mark in here where you want to leave your whites. You just don't want to touch it, because if you do, then you won't have any white left. This is a photograph of Halls Harbor, low tide, Nova Scotia, Canada. I was there several years ago and I wanted to see what this business about a 12-foot tide was all about. So we're going to cover everything with gray, except in a mid-tone gray, except for what I want to leave white. And I'm going to try to have a white pattern sort of lead you through the picture like this and keep you interested in my composition. So these trees are going to be mid-tone, and all of this stuff in here, I might leave, well, these houses are going to be mid-tone. Everything's going to be mid-tone except that sky up there. And those are a lot of these little pine trees. And these value studies should not take very long to do. So that's going to be all mid-tone. This is going to be all mid-tone. This boat is going to be relatively light. This stream that goes through this gravel, there's a gravel tunnel there that lets the tide go back up in here behind this bridge. That's going to be really dark. But that's the last bit of the water in the bay, in the harbor, is this bit of white. And then the harbor comes up like this. And then this is all going to be pretty much mid-tone. So we've got these boats here are going to be light. And there might be some rocks in this stream back up in here. Okay, that's pretty much, I've covered everything except my whites. Now I'm going to start putting my darks in. And remember, your darks are going to be dark, but it will be a range of darks when you paint your painting. When you paint your painting, you will have a range of darks from about where my thumb is up to really dark. And your lights are going to be these from midtones down. So now we're going to put this little dark piece in there. That's that little bridge. And we've got dark in between these abutments on the bridge. My hands are shaky this morning. You'd think I'd been drinking last night. Had a beer. I think if I use a square brush, I might be able to get that done a lot faster. So we're going to get in here and use this square brush. And we're not trying to paint a picture here. We're just trying to make a roadmap of what we want. Where the darks are and where the lights are. And over in here, underneath this dock, there's all kinds of darks and lights. And of course, over here on this side, we've got some dark foliage, and we've got a little bit of dark foliage in there and underneath the boats here. So this foliage over here is going to be dark. And there's these little posts along here up on the top of that railing. That's the road that goes over into Halls Harbor. Anyway, that's kind of what that does. These are those big old pines. They're going to pretty much dominate that corner. Now, is that a decent shape? I guess it's pretty close to being a decent shape. You don't have to have a lot of detail in this stuff, but there's a couple of little skinny trees here that don't have many leaves on them. And then you're going to go across this bridge. There's going to be a little bit of darker stuff in here. And then there's darker stuff over here where these little houses are. Those little Nova Scotia houses, they don't have a lot of eaves. They're pretty square looking. And these trees in here are just, you know, soft. And then it fades off into really distant trees up that hill. Now we got to put a couple of little details on the boat. This big boat has, its bottom comes down, and there's some shadow shapes. And there's some shadow shapes from here. There's another boat up there in front of that, but I didn't bother putting that in. Some of these posts, there'll be poles that are sticking up in the air, these flag poles and stuff. And of course, these are going to be different colors of different shades of dark, but it's mostly dark. This is really dark in here. And I think maybe there's some rocks in here. And this boat will have a little bit of shadow underneath it. And of course, there's this land goes down. And these, what little sun there is, there's some stuff in the boat that I can't really see. I just put the stuff in there. And this boat up here is going to have a little bit of darkness in it. This one will have a little shadow. This one will be dark on this side. This one will be dark on this side also. No, that wouldn't be dark there like that. Let's get rid of that. That would not be dark. If we want dark against light. And this will have a little bit of shadow on it along the side of that hill. And that's about it. There's my value study. And when you put that into a little frame, actually we could have a couple of pictures here if we wanted. That's not exactly the right color frame. Not right color, the right shape, the right size. I'll get to it in a minute. So there's our finished painting, our finished value study. Okay, thank you for watching. Come see me again. If I get this onto YouTube, be sure and click and say like and subscribe. Bye for now.